Welcome back to Becoming a Published Author is Fun. Episode 25, this is number 11. And if that title doesn't make any sense to you, check out episode 8. Not 25-8, but 8. So we're going to look at today, we discussed the last time you're a business person. This is the second part of this series. And so we're going to carry this a little bit deeper today. We're talking about clothing. Now, if you can see me right now, I'm kind of dressed in a casual, probably I would call it casual business. Got a dress shirt on. I could just as easily have put a tie on for this episode. That would be called business casual. You can be business, have the suit coat, the whole works. Or then some people go for the more casual look. It depends upon the brand you're trying to create. This is the brand I want people to see me as, sort of business casual. And in this particular podcast, I go with the whiteboard because it's a teaching tool that I can use and use a lot. But that doesn't have anything to do with clothes. So the clothing part of it is the business casual. I have used in other videos that I've done, not necessarily in this podcast, but others, I've gone with a more formal or business attire. I've also gone with more casual. It depends upon the image you want to create, the brand that you're working with. And so, but your clothing tells people a lot about you. And I'm not just talking about doing videos. You go into a business establishment and you're wanting to do business with them. If you walk in there looking like you just got off the bench, sleeping on the bench out in the park, or something of this nature, then you might get your sale and everything, but it's not going to be because of your clothing. You're going to come in there. That's going to present a negative. You don't want to present a negative view, a negative attitude towards you. You want everything to be as positive as you can, and that depends upon the kind of business you're in. You're in the authoring business, obviously. So where are you going? Are you going to a bookstore to talk to the manager? Are you going into a store, any other store that you might want to present your books and to see if they'll carry them on there? I would suggest business casual, but that would depend upon you, what you think works for you. But that's an important part of your presentation. Another one is your attitude. If you go into an establishment with a grumpy attitude, don't expect to have much success. Put a smile on your face and in your voice. Be friendly. I'm not talking about just normal chit chat, although that's can play a role in that as well. Having a friendly, outgoing expression. Now you might say to me, "Well, Ron, I'm not that way. I'm more serious than that." Well, that's okay. But put on the friendliest, serious view that you can do. You don't have to be a backslapper, a jovial person. I'm not saying that. But you want to be someone that they can look at, you look and sound trustworthy. And there's nothing wrong with a serious approach. That will project, perhaps, hopefully, a business-like attitude that they can work with you. You don't want to go in there and sound like somebody that doesn't. You may not have an education, but you don't have to display that fact. Learn how to talk to business people. They're not asking you to be some giant intellect or anything of that nature. They just want to be able to communicate with you on a level basis They don't want to talk down to you, and you don't want to be talked down to, and you don't want to have to talk up to them. If you are, you're talking, say you're going in, you're talking about a top-notch executive, you want to be respectful. But at the same time, you're a human being, and you want to have a sort of a business attitude. You're there to do business, not to just jabber, not just to talk about yesterday's game or anything like that. If that comes up, do it, but do it in a moderation and keep it short, unless it has something to do with what you're doing as a business person. Maybe you're writing a book about sports, then I would keep it to the minimum. The next thing here is being informed. Now, again, you're not expected to be um, top notch as far as informed is concerned. Okay, I'll use myself as an example. I never graduated from college. I went to college for a year, and then I've had a lot of other training that I've done on the side, but you could call it trade school. Wasn't really that, but I did. Did go to a trade school for becoming a financial secretary. I had to go in and learn how to do budgeting and things of this nature. And so different reasons that you for education. But you can be self-taught and still and be very informed. So you go in, if you're an author and you're writing about any topic. In my case, I wrote, well, I also write books on the Bible. Well, the person talking to me would expect that I would have some kind of knowledge of the Bible. Not that I'm going to rattle off verse after verse after verse, but that I would understand different things about the Bible. I could talk intelligently about it. And if I didn't have the answer right here, just right now, I had a backup plan. I could say, well, let me check here. I might even have it on my phone or something like that. And something that they can have some kind of confidence in. You want to have a good clothing presentation, a good attitude, and to show the fact that you are informed on the subject that you write about. History. I write about American history. I've written one book on American history, but if I was talking to them about that one book, I can talk a little bit intelligently about it and about how that book came about. The history in the Bible stories, those are history. And so I can talk intelligently about them. Cooperative. Be cooperative. It's not necessarily going to work out the way you want it to. Good example of this is you want to know what they want. And that should be a priority. So you walk into a bookstore and you want to make a sale, right? But they say to you, oh, we first-time authors, as far as they're concerned, you're a first-time author. To be carried in their bookstore, they want to do it by consignment. Well, consignment means you put an investment out there of books, and if they sell, then you make a profit. If they don't sell, you have to take them back. And that's an investment that you may feel that you be difficult to do so. And if that is, then you want to be honest with them. But if it's something just going to make things a little tight for you, but you can do it, try to cooperate with them as much as possible. Consignment means it's going to be there for probably maybe 6 months. Hopefully, some books will be sold. They will want you probably to do some kind of advertising that will point people to that bookstore. Nothing wrong with that. And that is something you should definitely be prepared. So when you walk in that bookstore, be prepared that they might want to do consignment. Be prepared that they might want you to do some upfront marketing. Be prepared that they might even want you to have a display. So you want to be as prepared as possible. One thing is to research that bookstore. Those are just examples of what you have to do. The clothes you wear, the attitude you wear, your education level, no. But informed, yes. Cooperative, be businesslike, be cooperative, and find a way to work with them. Like I said, things don't always work out the way you hope and plan for, but that is something that you definitely want to look at, is to be cooperative with them. And then when that does, that will hopefully for you open up a whole new source of income for you from that bookstore. And if your books sell, your next book will do even, they'll be open to you. And so for each sale would build on itself. And so that is something that you need to think about. Yes, writing, your primary focus is on the writing and getting your book published, but marketing is an important aspect of you as an author. It's unfortunate, but in today's world, and actually if you trace it back, it's always been that way to some extent, the author doesn't write the book and just sit back and wait for it to sell. They usually have to be involved. You go back far enough and the publisher actually did the advertising, but you didn't have any say in it at all. They did what they're going to do, and they didn't even consult you. So in today's world, in today's world, you have a different situation. In today's world, you have the expectation that you are going to be involved in your marketing. You may do most of it, especially if you're a non-known author. Now you go to some traditional ones, they will do it for you. But unless you're a well-known author, you're going to have a hard time getting into there. You have to get an agent, first of all, to even get heard. And then you have to get in it, and it's time consuming. It can take up to a couple of years or so for your book, from the time they agree to take your book to the time it gets published. So generally speaking, most of your marketing is going to come down on you. Now, publishers, such as myself, offer tools. Now, some publishers, they will sell tools to you at discounted prices. My tools that I market to you, I market at no cost. They're free, okay? So that is something. But anyhow, close, attitude, informed, cooperative, and just be ready for the consignment issue. That's not necessarily in your favor, but you can put it in your favor by accepting it and working with them and getting those sales. Devoting some time to getting those. You may have to put some shoe leather to it and getting those sales. And so the next time around, you may not have to do consignment. They might buy the books, order books, multiple copies of the same book, so that they can have them on their shelves because their customers like your book. I think that's fair, and I think that's good. So that's it for now. We will continue this series in the very next series of video, and probably for a few more videos after that. And then we'll move on to another subject. But that for now, we're looking at being a business person, and you could also call this first steps, because these are things that you can take care of now, even before you ever get published. Start thinking as a business person. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.